Mr. Abyss presents, starring two stupid criminals, the best cops, poor victims. They were selling death. A car service trap for murderers. Mysterious disappearances. Moscow, the end of the 90s. People are disappearing in the city one by one. All of them are owners of expensive cars. Everyone disappeared after meeting with potential buyers. There was no sign of a struggle, no evidence. The cars of the missing also disappear. The investigation reaches a dead end until one of the missing leaves evidence that will turn the tide of the case. This is the story of a car service station that has become a real factory of death, criminal business. The end of the 90s is a time when business in Russia is built not only on money, but also on blood. Racketeering, contract killings, kidnappings, all this becoming commonplace. In this era, criminals appear who decide to make money not just on cars, but on their owners. Evgeny is the owner of a small Autolux car service on the outskirts of Moscow. His business was on the verge of collapse. There are few customers, not enough money, and soon the client's expensive Jeep burns down in his hangar. Serious problems begin. Creditors demand money. They threaten him. Eugene's exit is fast. He comes up with a scheme by which cars can be obtained for free. And the owners of these cars, they just disappear. He takes Sergei as a partner, a car service worker who is ready to do anything for money. How the murder scheme worked. The crime scheme was ingenious in its simplicity. Victim search. Evgeny and Sergei found ads in the newspaper from hand to hand where expensive cars were sold. Getting in touch, we contacted the seller, made an appointment. Luring into the service, they convinced the seller that the car should be driven to their hangar for inspection. Cold-blooded murder. The owner of the car was shot in the head. Disposal of the body. The corpse was dumped into a manhole which was located directly in the hangar or walled up in concrete. Car sales. They sold cars at a low price, quickly receiving cash. Their first client was the owner of Niva. But little money came out of this car, and the criminals realized that they only needed to choose foreign cars. And so began a series of murders, a trail of blood. In a few months, Evgeny and Sergei killed 11 people. Among the victims are the owners of Mercedes, Audi, Mitsubishi Pajero, and Grand Cherokee Jeeps. But then it gets even more interesting. In March 1998, two people who turned out to be members of a gang, one of the most violent criminal groups in Russia, disappeared without a trace in a hangar. If earlier murders went unnoticed, now not only the police, but also bandits are starting to look for criminals. Fatal mistake. In the spring of 1998, Eugene finds a new victim, the owner of an expensive car. As usual, he makes an appointment, sets a time and place. But there's one problem. He's calling from his work phone. What he doesn't know is that his victim's phone has an automatic caller ID. When a man disappears, his relatives give this number to the police. It turns out that the number is registered to the Autolux company. The operatives decide to check the hangar. Arrest and gruesome findings. When the police arrive at the hangar, it is locked, but the sounds of work can be heard inside. The operatives decide to wait. An old car pulls up to the service late at night. Evgeny and his friend get out of it. They are detained on the spot. And then the police break into the hangar. What they find inside shocks even experienced investigators. In the garage, under the floor, there are bags with the bloody belongings of the dead. They contain documents, clothes, and car license plates. There are human remains in the manhole. The gun used to kill the victims is hidden under the ceiling on a metal beam. The case is solved. Trial and unexpected revelations. During interrogations, Yevgeny refuses to speak, but Sergei breaks down. Left alone in the investigator's office, he opens the handcuffs with a paper clip and tries to hang himself with his shoelaces. He is rescued, after which he begins to testify. Evgeny realizes that it's pointless to deny it and confesses. The trial begins soon. During the trial, Yevgeny behaves defiantly, standing with his back to the victim's relatives. When the verdict is announced, life imprisonment, there are screams in the hall. Sergei avoids punishment. He is declared insane and sent to a psychiatric clinic. The riddles that remain. It would seem that the case is closed. But there are still questions. Did the killers really work together? Perhaps there were more influential people behind them who still remain in the shadows? After all, Evgeny himself stated in court, "I fulfilled the wishes of my influential clients, and I still respect them." Who are these people? We'll never know.